Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? What we're going to be talking about today is boots on the ground when it comes to the UK. My best friend lives over there and she sends me emails every once in a while to let us know what's going on because, as you know, what happens over there eventually happens over here. So she said, I hope all is well with you and you're feeling better now. I am, thank you. She said, I figured it was time to write you another email, but so much has been going on over here, I don't even know where to start. That's the thing, when you don't know where to start. She said it's far too much to try and keep up with, and quite frankly, all of it just does all of it just does in my head. She said, so here goes with more tales of the current shit show that is in the UK right now. She said, you've probably seen or heard things concerning the UK Online Safety Act. Now, I will confess that I actually don't know too much about this, as I haven't delved into it, and quite honestly, I can't be bothered with any of it either. She said, it's been my understanding that this act is primarily to protect children under the age of 18, and this act is for their safety. However, this act is also about censoring things, even news and history, along with monitoring what adults are posting online. So it's a threat to free speech, etc. I watched part of a video from GB News with presenter Emma Trimble talking to Benjamin Jones, and he said UK news items in his X account were being censored. He also said one of his own tweets about the Online Safety Act was censored, along with tweets relating to history concerning the Crusades and something about a Roman consul. I'll give you the link to the video. Okay, thank you. Labour MP Barry Gardiner appeared on GB News talking about the Online Safety Act, and he admitted the act is to also monitor adults. See, okay, if we're going to protect kids, that's one thing. Under, a certain age, whether it's 16, 18, whatever. Okay, cool. But when it comes to us, leave us the hell alone. We've lived our lives. Leave us alone. You know what I mean? So she said, so of course this is going to include that is deemed anti-migrant. More on this in a moment. Social media companies are blocking wide-ranging content, including posts about the wars in Ukraine and Gaza, in an attempt to comply with UK's new Online Safety Act, according to BBC Verify. The new legislation imposes fines on social media companies and other websites which fail to protect under 18s from posts promoting self-harm and other harmful content. In serious cases, services could be blocked in the UK, but BBC Verify found a range of public interest content, including parliamentary debates on grooming gangs, has been restricted on X and Reddit for those who have not completed age verification checks. Okay, well, that's one thing. If you can't verify what your age is, then that means there's something going on. You know what I mean? So because only kids would not want to verify how old they are. You know what I'm saying? Because, in order for me to become a content creator, I had to verify who I was. Because I had to verify, like, with my, my checking account and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So, because, as you guys know, I'm monetized. So I had to verify all my stuff, so I can sit here and talk to you guys. You know what I'm saying? So, so if I had to do it, what's the big deal? You know what I mean? I'm just saying. If you've got nothing to hide, what the hell does it matter? You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so let's see. She goes on to say, where did I look at? I got lost. Among the restricted content identified by BBC Verify was a video post on X, which showed a man in Gaza looking for the the deceased of his family buried among the rubble of destroyed buildings. Okay. Well, you know what? If I were him, I wouldn't want to post that. But that's just me because it's personal, you know. The post was restricted despite not showing any graphic imagery. Oh, okay. Or bodies at any point in the clip, and X subsequently removed the warning after being approached by BBC Verify. When users who had not verified their age attempted to access the post, they were met with a message reading, "Due to local laws, we are temporarily restricting access to this content until X estimates your age." Okay, well, I mean, I'm verified on X, Twitter, whatever the hell you want to call it, you know what I mean? So, strange. Sandra Watcher, a professor of technology and regulation at the Oxford Internet Institute, expressed alarm at the restrictions and told BBC Verify that the new bill was not supposed to be used to suppress facts of public interest, even if uncomfortable. Well, she's right. You know, it's not supposed to do that, you know. But then again, you want to kind of shield the younger kids from seeing stuff like that because they don't need to be seeing, you know what I mean? Unless, I mean, if their parents show it to them, you know, for like some reason that their parents feel that they should see something like that, okay, I guess. But, you know, for us, you know, if we're going to say it, we're going to say it. You know what I mean? So she said, I also saw things being posted which said that the use of VPNs have skyrocketed once the new legislation came into effect. And surprise, surprise, things started appearing saying that the government wanted to ban VPNs. Good luck with that. I haven't seen or heard any more about this, but when I do, I'll certainly let you know. Also, Spotify has introduced face scans and age check for UK users. Really? To listen to friggin' music? Are you serious? With potential account deletion for non-compliance. It's music! What? Spotify says it will prevent age checks if suspects you are under 13, but many users have encountered checks despite being over 18. Some have taken to forums such as Reddit to point that young people are clever enough to find ways around the checks. For example, using a VPN to change their location to somewhere other than the UK. And a minority have even threatened to revert to piracy. Oh God, here we go. Remember LimeWire? Oh, from the 90s. Yeah, when we used to download music. Remember that? Also, both Apple and Wikipedia are suing the UK government. Are they really? Wikipedia is so left-leaning, though. Seriously? Apple is taking legal action to try and overturn a demand made by the UK government to view its customer private data if required. Oh, that's some scary shiznit right there. The BBC understands that the U.S. technology giant has appealed to the Investigatory Powers Tribunal, an independent court with the power to investigate claims against the security service. In January, Apple was issued with a secret order by the Home Office to share encrypted data belonging to Apple users around the world with UK law enforcement in the event of a potential national security threat. See, this is why I don't use Apple products. I don't give a shit what anybody says. Okay? I am Android all the way. So anyway, data protected by Apple's standard level of encryption is still accessible by the company if a warrant is issued, but the firm cannot view or share data encrypted using its toughest privacy tool, Advanced Data Protection. ADP is an opt-in feature, and it is not known how many people use it. Apple chose to remove ADP from the UK market rather than comply with the notice, which would involve creating a backdoor to the tool to create access. The UK's order also angered the US administration with President Trump, describing it to The Spectator as something that you hear about with China. Tulsi Gabbard said she had not been informed in advance about the UK's demand. She wrote in a letter that it was an egregious violation of UK or US citizens' right to privacy, and added that she intended to find out whether it breached the terms of legal data agreement between the US and the UK. Please note the article is from March 2025. The Wikipedia Foundation, Ridley, stop it, the nonprofit that operates Wikipedia and Wikimedia projects, announced its legal challenge earlier this year, arguing the regulations endanger Wikipedia and the global community of volunteer contributors who created the information on the site. Information on Wikipedia is written and curated by a global community of nearly 260,000 volunteer contributors. For example, the foundation would be required to verify the identity of many Wikipedia contributors, undermining the privacy that is central to keeping Wikipedia volunteers safe, in addition to being exceptionally burdensome. This requirement, which is just one of several Category 1 demands, could expose contributors to data breaches, stalking, lawsuits, or even imprisonment by authoritarian regimes. Why does it matter who is putting what on Wikipedia? As long as it's fact-based, who cares? In an update to this story, Wikipedia have lost their High Court challenge. Content aimed at children that promotes porno, self-harm, and eating disorders must be restricted. Well, yeah, because they don't need to be seeing that stuff. What the While social media websites will be required to introduce features that allow users to choose to encounter lower amounts of harmful content, the Wikimedia Foundation, which operates Wikipedia, has said it is unable to comply with this, and that the encyclopedia may be fined or blocked by the media regulator Ofcom as a result. Under the bill, Wikipedia could be classified as a Category 1 service, the most stringent class that requires it to verify the identity of contributors. Wikimedia argued that this could open Wikipedia to up to vandalism? What? While users could be exposed to data breaches, lawsuits, and even imprisonment by authoritarian regimes. This is ridiculous. I mean, students use this all the time, like college students and stuff, for their midterms and whatnot. The nonprofit said that in taking steps to prevent children from seeing illicit material, the availability of information online will be restricted. It said Wikipedia should be made exempt from the law, one intended for large platforms like social media networks and porn websites. If not, it would need to cut the number of people in the UK who access the site by about 3/4 or disable the key functions. What? The court immediately dismissed Wikimedia's judicial review, but Justice Johnson said Wikimedia has 2 grounds to lodge another. The court stressed, however, that the ruling does not give Ofcom and the Secretary of State for Science, Innovation, and Technology a green light to implement a regime that would significantly impede Wikipedia's operations. The government's lawyers argued that the officials had considered whether Wikipedia should be exempt, but had reasonably rejected the idea. Also, a few websites have been created that use AI to generate photo IDs of members of parliament. I found a video talking about this, and it explains how the process works. The website will then generate a photo ID, which is a driver's license, when the government get around to checking this data to see who has been using the website that need verification. Well, guess what? There's going to be loads of fake Gerstheimer IDs being used for verification. That's funny. And last but not least, an elite police unit has been set up to monitor social media for anti-migrant posts. Oh my God, how stupid. The unit will be tasked with flagging early signs of potential civil unrest and maximizing social media intelligence after last year's riots exposed gaps in police planning. Home Office ministers say it will give local commanders national support to spot and respond to online threats. The moves come as protests outside asylum hotels spread across the country. Shadow Home Secretary Chris Phillip accused the government of trying to police what you post, what you share, what you think, because it can police the streets itself. Okay. Labor have stopped pretending to fix Britain and started trying to mute it. He added, accusing ministers of favoring surveillance over frontline policing. At-Home Office spokesperson said, this new team will help police forces track real-time information and protect communities from incidents and emergencies before they escalate. As part of the government's plan for change, we are restoring visible neighborhood policing, focusing on public priorities, including having half crime and violence against women, clamping down on theft and antisocial behavior, and ensuring that people can feel safe in their own streets. Since the riots of last summer, more and more people are being arrested for their social media posts or comments. I said at the time, I'll say it again, even if you just like a certain post without leaving a comment, you'll be arrested. That's what's being rolled out next in the coming years. They are determined to shut down your comments and views on current events, restrict your access to online content, and censor what they can. So there you are. That's just some of what's happening over here in the last 2-3 weeks, but there's still a lot more, so I'm going to send you another email. Oh my God, girl, move here, will you please? Please? You can live with me forever, because I love you. Okay, that is the most god-awful, I don't know what. I mean, I'm sick. I'm sick. I'm sick to my stomach because of all this. All right, I'm out of here. I will see you guys in the next one, okay? You guys stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping. And as always, fearless and God bless. Ciao.
This is the daily earthquake report for August 12th, 2025. Seismic activity has remained high in the past 24 hours, with several magnitude 5 and above earthquakes recorded across the Pacific and beyond. Kamchatka continues to show persistent unrest, producing multiple strong quakes offshore and near the trench system. The largest today was a magnitude 5.2 south of Petropavlovsk-Kamchatsky, part of the ongoing sequence that has kept the region on heightened watch for days. In the South Pacific, a magnitude 5.1 struck north of Tonga's Tofua Island, continuing the pattern of activity that has been seen in the region over recent weeks. Over in South America, Chile's Atacama region registered a magnitude 5.0 near Copiapó, while across the Pacific, southern Mexico recorded a magnitude 5.0 off the coast of Chiapas. Earlier today, a much stronger magnitude 6.4 earthquake occurred, which we covered in a separate dedicated video. That report, with full details and analysis, is available to watch on our page. It's been a busy day of seismic movement, and if anything major happens overnight, we will be the first to report it. The San Andreas Fault cuts through California for more than 750 miles, from the Salton Sea in the south to Cape Mendocino in the north. It marks the boundary between two massive tectonic plates, each moving relentlessly past the other. This is the fault that has produced some of the largest earthquakes in United States history, and scientists warn it is capable of something even more destructive than anything in the historical record. For decades, experts have divided the San Andreas into segments. The northern section broke in 1906, destroying much of San Francisco. The central section ruptured in 1857 in the Fort Tejon earthquake. The southern section has not ruptured for over 3 centuries and is considered overdue. The standard expectation has been that these sections fail one at a time. But a powerful earthquake in March 2025 on the other side of the world has shaken that assumption. In central Myanmar, a magnitude 7.7 event ripped along 317 miles of the Sagaing Fault, a geological twin of the San Andreas. Instead of stopping at its segment boundaries, the rupture jumped across them, tearing through multiple sections, including ones that had slipped in large earthquakes less than a century ago. If the San Andreas were to rupture in the same way, the results would be staggering. A single event could run from Monterey County through Los Angeles and into Riverside and Imperial counties. That could push the magnitude above 8.0, unleashing severe shaking across multiple major cities at the same time. The consequences would be immense. Transportation networks could be cut statewide. Water and power supplies could be disrupted for weeks. Fires could burn in several cities at once. Millions could be affected within seconds. Scientists say the fault is already carrying significant stress, and large earthquakes on faults like this happen without a fixed schedule. There is no countdown clock, only the knowledge that it will happen. When it does, it could be the largest disaster in California's modern history. And it might happen in a way no one has planned for. For full details about the new study, go to our website abovethenormnews.com. A very strong earthquake has struck the Coral Sea, shaking the southern Solomon Islands in the early hours of Friday morning. At 3:22 a.m. local time, seismic networks detected a magnitude 6.3 quake about 62 kilometers southwest of Utupua Island. The quake hit at a shallow depth, intensifying the shaking across Tumotu province. Even in Lata, more than 100 kilometers from the epicenter, residents reported feeling the tremor. Shallow earthquakes of this magnitude can cause structural damage to weaker buildings, send objects tumbling from shelves, and trigger localized landslides along steep terrain. The event struck along the very active Ring of Fire, a section of the Pacific that has seen a surge of powerful seismic activity in recent weeks. We will update if anything else happens or if more information comes in. This is the daily earthquake report for August 14th, 2025. The largest earthquake in the past 24 hours was the magnitude 6.3 event south-southeast of Lata in the Solomon Islands, which we covered earlier in a separate video report that you can watch now on our page. Tonga experienced a magnitude 5.6 northeast of Nyafu, while the South Pacific west of Jayapura, Indonesia, recorded a magnitude 5.1. In the North Pacific, offshore Kamchatka and the Kuril Islands saw multiple strong quakes, including 2 magnitude 5.0 events near Ostrov Paramushir Island. Across the Bering Sea, a magnitude 5.2 struck southeast of Unalaska Island in Alaska's Aleutian chain. Seismic activity remains elevated across multiple regions, keeping the Pacific Ring of Fire on high alert. If anything major happens overnight, we will be the first to report it. This is the daily earthquake report for August 13th, 2025. The day's largest earthquake struck in the Maluku Sea near Indonesia's Sulawesi region with a magnitude 5.3 at a depth of 72 kilometers, southeast of Bitung. The area also recorded a magnitude 5.0 in the Banda Sea southwest of Pulau Teor Island. Kamchatka remained active with a magnitude 5.2 southeast of Vilyuchinsk, a magnitude 5.0 near the east coast, and another magnitude 5.0 offshore southeast of Petropavlovsk-Kamchatsky. These events continue the persistent offshore sequence in the region. Guam registered a magnitude 5.1 east of Dededo village. In South America, a magnitude 5.0 was recorded in the South Pacific near Chimbote, Peru. Today's activity highlights how multiple regions remain restless along the Pacific Ring of Fire. If anything major happens overnight, we will be the first to report it. In the last 24 hours, a series of unusual earthquakes has struck across parts of Europe far from the planet's known seismic danger zones. Late Wednesday night, a magnitude 4.3 earthquake shook Poland's Lower Silesian region near Lublin. At a shallow depth of only 13 kilometers, the tremor was widely felt and clearly registered on global monitoring systems, something that does not happen often in this part of the country. Elsewhere, a magnitude 2.9 quake struck near Jihlava in the Czech Republic. While small, it occurred deep within stable continental crust, making it an uncommon event for the area. Germany recorded a magnitude 2.5 quake near Albstadt at an extremely shallow depth of just 1 kilometer, indicating fracturing close to the surface. Global monitoring networks also detected a magnitude 2.2 quake in Finland at a depth of 22 kilometers. This event, not yet listed on the main earthquake feeds, was picked up by global quake systems. Finland is rarely affected by seismic activity, making its appearance on global monitoring unusual. While earthquakes do occur across these regions from time to time, it is rare to see several appear on global monitoring systems within such a short span. This scattered activity across low-risk areas raises concern that stress may be building in places long thought quiet.